This computer.
Hey,
What?
you need your dad?
Yeah.
I'll message him to come back here, okay?
Okay, well, welcome everybody. My name is Sue Alverson. I'm the Development Director at the VFW National Home. So glad to see everybody tonight. We really appreciate it. We have tonight joining us is Brian Lorente, and he is our Veteran and Family Resource Manager. So it's a new position that was created under our new leadership, Executive Director Mike Wilson. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Brian, and I will monitor any chat questions or any hands that are raised. And if I miss it, we'll have a question and answer once Brian is through. So take it away, Brian.
Hey, all. So I'll keep this a little informal since I'm in a jet. So when Mike took over, he came to me and let me know that he'd like me to take over this new position. And it was interesting taking a new job that's very different from something that I've kind of been doing for 22 years. I started in 2000 at the home. I worked in the residential program. I did some summer programs. And then I started doing life skill classes and working more kind of not directly with just youth, but some parents as well. And then COVID hit and I was raising pigs for 2 years. That was cool. And then Laura Lonsberry and I took over as interim program directors to get us through COVID. And then Mike came on and offered me this position, which I thought was really exciting because it's given me the chance to go out and network and meet with people and talk to them about the home. A lot of you know that for some reason the home is kind of like the best kept secret in the VFW and the auxiliary. It's kind of baffling that we are, but we are, and that's why I have a job right now. So I've had the chance to go out and meet some great groups that are very excited and enthusiastic about knowing what we're doing and what we offer. There's a lot of us out there that are really all just trying to do the great work of just serving veterans and their families. And I've been at this almost 4 months, and that's one of the main themes that I'm seeing is that there's a lot of us. There's a lot of us working for the mission.
No, not yet.
So some of the things I've learned so far is that we have lanes of eligibility that make certain individuals and families eligible for our services, and some veterans and families are eligible for our services and some aren't. One of the things that would make them not eligible, obviously, is if they don't have children. So I just toured a facility a couple weeks ago over in Battle Creek that solves that problem. If you're not eligible for our services, well, we've networked, and now we can send you to over to this place to get some needs met. So it's been a really great thing. I start traveling next week. I go down to Dayton, Ohio, to the Air Force Museum to network and just talk to people. I will be at convention as well, and I've been to convention dozens of times, but I'll be in a very different role. Again, to go to workshops and to get cards and invite people out to the home. One of the big things we're doing right now is really inviting people to sign up for a tour and to come to the home. We can meet on Zoom all you want. It's a great tool to get to a lot of people right away. But if you've never been to the home, the on-site tour, especially now that the snow's gone, really sells the place at what we're capable of doing, and the resources that we offer to veterans and families is very vast. And a lot of us have been there a long time. I'm one of several staff that have been at the home 20 plus years. We just had our longevity banquet, and I think, Sue, you can correct me, 3/4 of the staff have been there 15, 20 plus. So we really love what we do. Obviously, there's a passion for it. And one of my big jobs is to put the word out that we've got this movement that we're really trying to focus in on veteran families. One of my goals, and I'm really going to push for in the next year, is to be in front of active duty that are transitioning out. and make sure that we're in the conversation with the VSOs and the transition officers that, there is an option. Sue, how much do you want me to get into I don't want to get into too much program stuff, but the process of how the referral process and the assessment process and stuff like that works?
Yeah, I think that's great. And also just for you folks to think about in your areas, organizations that the National Home can connect with, that Brian can connect with. And I know Rick Holland just sent me some information, and we'll have Rick speak to that in a minute. But yeah, go ahead, Brian. I think a little bit of that'd be great.
So we'll put the stuff out, and we're happy to send you flyers and all this good stuff. But the main way we refer individuals to the National Home is through our helpline, 1-800-343. Remind me, I'm drawing a blank. 313-4200. It's been a minute. I've been in a new role, but that referral line either gets you resources if you don't qualify, or it begins the assessment, or begins the application process. Something really exciting to talk about, and I don't want to steal any of Angie's topics next week, is we spent about 1.5 years when we were fighting COVID. We really worked on the assessment process, and trying to take the assessment process was a 2 to 3 month process. There was a lot of paperwork involved. There were a lot of interviews. We really started using some more current technologies and updating our website and some of our forms. And we really shrunk it down to a 3 to 4 week process now, depending on the person that's applying, how hard they're working to get us back some stuff. But the application process is much faster starting as of this year, which we're really excited about. That helps move a lot of numbers, and it helps us to kind of sort through. So in a nutshell, if you're interested in the home, you call the 800 number. If you qualify, we can email you an application that you can fill out right online and send it right back to us, and you'll know whether you qualify for services or not. As far as Sue was saying, as being a contact to me, I love to talk to people about the home. It's a great topic to talk about. And whether that's just asking me questions or jumping on a Zoom or asking me to come out to wherever you are, that's kind of an option for me now. So it's a good thing, especially if you want to be associated with the home for with a lot of stuff that Sue does. That's also great. Excuse me. It's for all the staff that have been there a long time. This is kind of an exciting era for us. Mike's got a very clear direction of where he wants us to go and what he wants to do, and I think everybody's on board with it. So it's gonna be a very interesting year as we start implementing all these changes.
For sure. Some of the things that, if you don't mind, Brian, I'm just going to interrupt for a second. Some of the things
Please.
I talked to Mike about, what Brian and Mike are doing in Michigan, there's those same organizations in a lot of other states. Brian, where are we going in the end of May down to Motor City? The Michigan National Guard. It's the NAGM National Guard Association. That's their annual meeting. So it's not just Michigan. And any of those things, you guys have them in, if you have a guard. I'm not even sure if every state has a guard. Maybe somebody can help me with that one. But those are the kind of events that we're figuring out here in Michigan. And then we want to see if we can find those in your states to have you help us connect with. Rick, would you like to speak about one of the emails, the TAPS email that you sent me?
Yeah, that was, I just tried contacting them today, and their director is supposed to be trying to get back to me. But TAPS is a Tragedy Assistance Program for Survivors, and it's a organization that I know the Air Force Casualty Office. I deal with them a lot because of my dad's case. And they're the ones that told me that might be the better organization to go through, because a couple months back, Sue and I were talking, and we started talking about the trying to get the military branches, casualty offices involved, get them in contact with the National Home and what the National Home might be able to help them with for as a resource. And I contacted the Air Force Casualty Office at that time because I deal with them a lot, and tried to get them involved. And they, in turn, sent me to the Air Force Families Forever program. And I just forwarded you an email this afternoon with the gals' contact information on that, Sue. And hopefully, there might be something that we can offer them. And so the Air Force pretty much, and I know the other branches of the service utilize this TAPS organization a lot. They're there to, as it says, programs for survivors of military casualties in one way or another. And so they offer a lot of resources and stuff. And I was just trying to, the National Home is on my mind all the time. Between my dad's case and the National Home, I see opportunities that I'd like to, that I think, man, they don't know about the National Home. The National Home doesn't know about them. I think there's a, there might be a chance we could help each other out here, partnerships. And
That's exactly right.
like I said in my emails, I hope I'm not overstepping my boundaries by trying to contact these people and trying to open the door, at least for the National Home, to get the word out about them, because so many places don't know about the National Home and that it is a resource that's available. And like Brian was saying, it's a best kept secret, unfortunately. And I made it my mission to do everything I can to change that. And so I just, TAPS is one, Air Force Families, the Carry the Load organization is another one that I sent you an email on. I'm actually doing a fundraiser for them right now. They're starting their national relays, and one of their West Coast relay is actually starting April, it's Thursday, next Thursday, starting here at the Tahoma National Cemetery is where they start their relay, and I'm going to walk the first 1.5 miles with them. And I've signed up as a team and hoping to raise money. So anybody wants to go to that website and sign up for my fundraiser, that'd be great. But I contacted them about seeing what it would take to get the National Home as one of their partners to be listed in their program, because I think that would be a great way to get the word out about the National Home and possibly raise some money that way. So these are, again, I apologize if I've overstepped my boundaries a little bit, Sue.
No, this is exactly what we want, Rick. That's awesome.
So Rick, just to let you know, if there's ever a resource you think it would be good for us just to know about or take a look at, you can email me, Sue, if you can put up my information up there on the chat so people have it. You can email me anytime, call my office phone and let me know what I do with if I think a resource that I found is something that can be applicable to our services right away, I throw it into a shared sheet with the case managers. And they take a look at it, and our helpline specialists and our case managers, I kind of update them, try to weekly. And so as things come in, because we're new to other people, and honestly, there's a lot of resources out there that we didn't know were there. That's my job now, is to find and share. So, and it's very quick and easy just to put that in there and let everybody know. And that's all the networking and communication is how all these connections start being made.
Right. And that's the beauty of the positions. Buddy Poppy, National Home Chairman, and then the National Home Chairman positions. That's what we need you for, and exactly what you're doing. And we really appreciate it. Both fundraising. I know we got some big fundraisers on here too tonight, and just spreading the word, because we can't do it. We can't do it with the marketing budget that we have. It's just the way it is. So that's we appreciate everything that you guys do.
Brian, one more. that I haven't pursued, but I was gonna, it's probably a good time to mention it to you right now, is I've wondered about the Fisher House organization, Fisher House Foundation organization, if you're familiar with them. They've got Fisher Houses basically all over the country, near military bases a lot of times, and they're set up to provide homes, a place for military families to stay when they've got to come and visit a loved one that might be getting in one of the military hospitals for surgery or recovery or anything. And they just seem like another logical organization that would be good to partner with the National Home.
Yeah, absolutely. So a resource like that, I would get the information I could. I'd reach out to one of the directors and have a conversation, and then ask to send flyers and stuff, just so we're advertised at all these places. You know, Sue's pretty fast at sending out information to people that need it. And if I can make that connection, and then that information is at least there for someone to see that we're an option. I think that's a big goal for me, is just to make sure that we're an option. You know, we're in the conversation when the transitions are happening. I don't think we're in the conversation at all. So we're missing this huge pool of people who I think could really use, you know, not just free housing, but a structured environment of goal setting and transitioning that's not quite civilian life, but it's going to be the entry point to re-enter civilian life. And that's a big goal for me, is I want to be in those conversations in as many places as possible. Mary Archuleta has had her hand up for about 15 minutes.
Oh, wait a minute. I lost her.
Okay, hello,
Go ahead, Marilyn.
can you hear me?
Barely. Go ahead though.
Can you hear me? Let me get this mic on, sorry. See.
Yeah, I can't even see her, Brian. Oh, there she is.
There we go. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
There you go.
Okay, good. Sorry, I had to do my settings. A couple of things is, first off, you're talking about, you know, trying to partner with other organizations in other states and so forth. I know from, well, my past work experience, the Armed Services YMCA is in several states. I was a director of services for the El Paso Armed Services YMCA. They had a resident center for people coming into the post or leaving PCSing, or incoming personnel with their families. We also had a program and a daycare center on the base, and the program center and family center there, they assisted the families. But in our residential setting, actually, that was some of the things that I did, was that there was families that had been displaced or going through a situation where the husband was being deployed and the wife, you know, something that happened where they lost their housing or whatever, you know, I actually helped get them placed, sometimes temporary placements. Most of the time it was for temporary placements, but working them into a permanent placement. So that might be an organization to look at. I know they are in several states, your Armed Services YMCAs. I think this information will be extremely valuable and helpful for them. And another thing, you know, we are talking about, you know, getting the word out. I go all over the state of Missouri, to the districts, to the posts, whatever. And I give the National Home presentation. I always give the 800 number. I always tell them, you know, these are the resources available. And it is still, to me, unbelievable as much. And I've done this kind of work for about the last 4 or 5 years now. And it's still unbelievable to me that all these posts and places that I go to, even within my own state, and, you know, so many people are saying, I had no idea that the National Home did all this. I had no idea. And, you know, I'm like, this is why, you know, and I said, you know, this is why we need to talk about it. And if I tell you, I want you to turn around to tell 2 or 3 people and so forth. And I have efforts going on in my state practically year round to try to help to support our trip, the trip that we make up to Michigan in the fall. because that is what it takes. And coming out of COVID, I've had to put, more rubber on the road and work harder, I have to work harder because I want this to be a successful trip for everyone involved, and the people from the state of Missouri and coming to the home and so forth. So, there's a lot of outreach there that I do. And another thing too is I'm working with the National Guard here, their family support program. I have a Veterans Resource Fair coming up at my post that we're putting on May 7th, and they'll be running a table there. Now, I had not actually in the past approached them or talked to them, to partner with the National Home, but that's something I'd be willing to do. If there's certain materials, or I could give them Brian's information, and then, it could be worked from there. Just let me know. Whatever it needs to be done, I'm happy to do.
Perfect.
Well,
Thank you,
for all that
Marilyn.
work. Yeah,
Mhm.
thank you for all that work. And if you need anything, like I said, just reach out. Marvy's had her
Absolutely.
hand up for a while too, Sue.
Marvy?
Marvy?
Hi, I'm
Hi,
Marvy.
Marvy.
I'm from the state of Illinois, and so we do what you guys are talking about, but there's also another program. And so is there a way that I can have my chairman reach out to you to talk about different things? Because I work at Rush here, and they have a program called Road Home, and they work with the veterans with PTSD and their families. So it might be a good organization to partner with, to get the information to those people in case they need a place to go while they're working on the issues that they have. And get them back
Absolutely.
to the workforce and stuff like that. But my chairman for next year has never been to National Home, so she's really super excited to work with it. So can I give her your name and number to reach out to you to find out what more she can do?
Absolutely.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Yeah,
And
so
I put it in the chat. Does everybody
Okay.
see Brian's information?
yeah, and if you ever can't find my information, just call the National Home directly and ask for me. There's really not that many of us, and I'm the only Brian. Just to let you know. Yeah, like a resource like that. I mean, that'd be very interesting to take to the case manager team. We meet once a week and talk about things and say this is an option. And again, we can just put it in our bag of tricks. But that's a great resource. Yeah, that's a great opportunity to, after the healing, to come and again get kind of reacclimated to things. So that's how we do it, though. All the sharing.
Is she going to be able to make it to Illinois Day?
Yes, she is definitely going to make it to Illinois Day. And like I said, it's going to be her first trip there, so she's going to be in awe when she gets there. But she's really excited about working with the program because she's wanted to do something to help kids and their families and like even her own area. So
Yeah, that's great. And our program director will be featured in May at the Zoom meeting, and feel free to invite people to it.
okay, great, thank you.
Yeah.
Sue,
Yes.
I will put this out there, and we did this a few years ago. The state of Missouri, we make our trip every year. We start with a bus in Kansas City. Our last pickup is by St. Louis and St. Charles, Missouri. Anybody from a surrounding state that would like to try to come on the bus and make that trip, if they contact me, I will definitely give them the details and add them to that list. They would be more than welcome to come on the bus with us when we come up.
Nice.
That would not be a problem. So a few years ago, I brought about a half a dozen people from Kansas. And Marvy was talking about, the National Home Chair from Illinois. Anyone from their state involved in the VFW or the auxiliary that would like to learn more and know more about the National Home, or any of the surrounding states, if it was Iowa, if they can make it to one of the pickup points for our bus in Missouri, if they contact me, I can make that happen. We'll make it happen.
That's awesome, Marilyn. Would you put your contact information in the chat, please?
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
she's talking about, it's our annual meeting, which is held the third help me, Brian, is it, Todd, is it the third or fourth Thursday?
It's the third, it's that Saturday. This year it is going to be on October 20, I just gave it the other day, October 22nd. That's
Okay.
well, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the fourth Saturday in October.
Okay, so
That's
that's
what
our
I'm seeing.
annual meeting, and then right
Yeah.
after the annual meeting, Missouri and Wisconsin have been putting on this fall festival for I don't know how many years, but it's super fun because it really is just about the kids and the families. They dress up and there's pizza and it's just a really good time. So that's what the time frame that Marilyn's talking about with the bus tours. So she'll put her information out there, and that's a great invite. Thank you.
Hey, Sue, this is Angie.
Hi, Angie.
Hi,
Hey,
Angie.
hi, Brian. Hi, Sue. Marilyn, what state did you say you were from?
Missouri.
Okay. When you meet with the National Guard in Missouri, if you get a chance, have you been introduced to the Soldier and Family Readiness Support people in the state?
Yeah, that's part of, now I've met with some of them 2 or 3 times, the Family and Readiness Support. They kind of combine it into
Yep.
this family support unit that they have, and they go around, and I've partnered with them before in some events or been at some of the same events as them in the past. And I'm just looking, you know, from what Brian shared tonight, I'm just looking at kind of making that relationship, taking it a step further to where maybe, you know, we can bond a little more and work a little more closely with them.
Okay. I just want to know, I will, when you guys meet me next month, I'll kind of give you my background, but I worked for the Michigan National Guard for 15 years in the family programs office. So if you need any contact or any people from there, just let me know. I have other contact information, and they're the best people to get the information out to, because just like our case managers at the home, those Soldier and Family Readiness Support assistants work with the service member and their families to get them help. So thank you
Right.
for working with them.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, Angie. All right. Any other questions? Anything else you want to talk about? Yes, sir. Ron. Well, there you go.
There, I was trying to get unmuted. My clock's taken off. It must be an hour. But I just wanted to say, I'm the department commander here in Montana. And Brian said that he worked with the hogs for a couple of years. And so I just was wondering, how's the farm doing?
Farm's doing really good. We got some, Todd and his crew did some really nice upgrades after we took a break from hogs last year because we still had a lot of restrictions that we were fighting with. So it was a good time to do some upgrades. So the barn area looks great. We got a big batch of about 15 hogs, I believe, that have been with us for a couple months. And they've doubled, tripled in size already. Kids are working really hard with them. So there's a lot of normalcy happening again. And there's a lot of new happening right now. So it's really exciting. The kids will continue to work and develop them, and we'll go to, we actually took a group of kids to the fairgrounds in Charlotte, Michigan, where they'll sell them, they'll show them and sell them off in July. So that program is back and up and running hard, and
Super.
good.
Thank you.
No problem.
Just to speak to things getting back and people wanting to travel and that kind of thing, we have, if everybody's familiar with our junior vice, we have not held a normal junior vice orientation since 2019. And that's going to be next month. It's the 12th. They come in on the 12th, and the real big day at the home is the 13th. And then there's a half day on the 14th. But we have the largest junior vice. This is when the junior vice commanders and junior vice presidents come in. We have the largest group that we've ever had. So I know, like for you, Ron, if you're probably, you missed it, right? Because of COVID. Yeah. And we have a lot of those situations. And we even asked some of the juniors, just an idea, hey, bring some of the people that missed it, you know, along the way. So we're going to have some of that. So we're real excited to have visitors back, because that place was made for visitors, for sure.
Super. And we'll try to get there. We
Yeah.
missed out. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, it's our favorite event. We're just praying for good weather though. We just had snow a couple days ago.
Yeah. Well, it's still April.
I know, you're from Montana, you understand.
Yeah.
Any
Thank
other
you.
questions? Oops, I'm sorry.
No, I say thank you. That good update. Thank you.
You bet. Any other questions? I guess I'd like to shout out, we've got a couple of our Board of Trustees on tonight. We have Art Schuneman and we have Keith Jackson joining us.
Hi, Sue, Phil. Can you hear me? Oh, I can't hear you. But anyway, I had the privilege of speaking with Mike Wilson a week ago or thereabouts. And we talked about how can we initiate involvement of the chaplaincy with the home. And I've been trying to look at dates to schedule a time when my wife and I can visit. And anyway, her experience would be real helpful. She was a combat stress control officer.
Wow.
And she's done a lot of work with casualty assistance, bereavement support, and that kind of thing, which goes hand in hand with chaplain services. So anyway, I just wanted to let you know, Sue, I don't know if Mike has mentioned anything to you.
Well,
And
I met you and your wife. When didn't you visit, like within a couple years, right?
October, I think sometime in October. It was
Okay,
last
Well,
fall.
okay. So
So
did you
anyway-
talk to Mike in Arizona then,
Yes,
when he was out there?
yes.
Awesome, awesome. You know,
And
we've
I-
talked about the Chaplain Avenue for a long time. And, you know, I think you and I talked about it, Phil. Is there a way that they have you meet, what do I want to say? You guys meet as a group, right? Every
Mhm.
state that has a chaplain?
Yes, that would be my, I think my initial step, see how many of the state chaplains would be interested in coming to the home just for a brainstorming session.
Yeah,
And what can we do? How can we best serve the families, you know, given the physical distance? You know, obviously,
Yeah.
I'm not going to come from Arizona to Michigan, you know, on a real frequent basis.
Zoom helps.
But things like Zoom
Yeah.
really make a big difference. So
you-
anyway, I just,
yeah. If you
Yeah.
want to talk about trying to get that group specifically together, I mean, I would for sure have Brian and Angie,
Okay.
you know, on that Zoom meeting, and we could just do a training, kind of like what we do with Zoom, or, you know, or they can join this one. But if you want to, you know, kind of break it off, I can understand that too. So we're open
Yeah.
to brainstorming about it.
I think initially it should be for the chaplains specifically, plus your staff. And because in a meeting like this, which I think is great, but I think we would need to be concentrating on a smaller area of focus.
Okay,
Especially that
So-
initial meeting.
Sue, let me say,
Um,
this. So one of the goals sooner than later that we want to get developed is we want to renovate the bottom of the H&E to become a resource center. So we want to be available to not just our veterans and our families, but we want to be a location destination that people can come for services who aren't even residents of the National Home. So that chaplain piece has been talked about on multiple levels. One of the trips I went on, I talked to a young chaplain who had deployed multiple times. He had been to the home and he was excited that this conversation was happening again. So yeah, the chaplain conversation is definitely alive and well. And I think it'd be great to do a big Zoom with everybody and just talk about what could be possible, whether that be somebody in state or a Zoom option, kind of a telehealth thing. So yeah, there's a lot of good options and resources with that.
Yeah, let's work on
Yeah.
that, Phil.
And if I
Okay.
can say something too, I am Phil's wife, Mary. And
Mary.
I work not only as a combat and operational stress control officer, but I also served in the Army Surgeon General's office and helped to establish the rehabilitation and reintegration division of the Office of the Surgeon General. And within the Surgeon General's office, there are also liaisons for both the Army Reserve and the National Guard. I know the National Guard, you go state by state by state. If you could get the right person, they could then contact the states for us. So, Brian, I may be talking with you a little bit more and see.
Happy to chat. You should let me know when and where.
And TAP is a wonderful organization. I think that's excellent to be working with them and any of the family readiness group.
Great.
Excellent to be able to connect.
Thank
Okay,
you.
so Sue, when I put out I guess a feeler to the other chaplains, would I coordinate with you to set up a schedule for a meeting?
That would be great, because I would probably join Brian and Angie on that. So I'd be happy to be the contact, Phil.
Okay, I can do that. And yeah, I really, I'm excited about the interest that you have, because I know many of the families who qualify to come to the home may not have any spiritual support at all.
Yeah.
So we'd like
That's great.
to, yeah, we'd like to make the option available to any of those families. So again,
That's
thank
great.
you. Thank you very much.
Thank
Thank you.
you. Donna, did you have a question? I see your hands raised. And Marilyn, I don't know if you have another question, or I don't know how to put hands down. So
Yeah,
Tap-
well, we have to
tap-
put them down. Yeah,
Tap the hand again.
yeah.
I do.
But I have another
Donna.
question.
Did
Go ahead,
Donna?
Marilyn.
No, Donna she called you first. You can go.
Okay. So I'm curious, Brian, if you've reached out to the VFW service officers to connect with them. I know that our post has a service officer, and our service officer wasn't familiar with the National Home. And I didn't know if that was something that you could reach out to the National VFW to see if you could get in with maybe some training for the service officers so that they would know more about the National Home also.
My first meeting, my first luncheon as the resource manager was with a former staff, actually, who is a veteran service officer in the area. We really believe that accredited service officers are absolutely essential for
Mhm.
working with veteran. It's one of the main resources we use on the helpline, is getting a veteran connected to an accredited service officer. So yes, service officers were one of my number one notes that I took, was just having that conversation. And again, making sure we're just in the conversation and in people's bag of tricks. So yes, that was my first duty, was to start that conversation on not just a local level, but we're going to give a presentation on May 10th via Zoom at the big VSO convention out in San Antonio. So yes, doing everything we can to inform.
Okay, I have a couple of tidbits. first off, couple of months ago at our winter C of A, I've actually, in my state, I provided all the service officers, all their offices with National Home Materials. And I did a presentation to their group in my state because, and I discussed this before, at many times, the families having problems, crisis, and issues, the first person they're going to contact is a VSO.
Right.
So in my mind, I thought, if that's the place that they get referred to and go to, those VSOs need to have that information. So I gave them all packets of information on the National Home. They all know me. They all have the information. They all have the phone number. So your National Home chairman helped them to do that within the state. And another thing, I'm very fortunate. My state supports what I do and my work very well. If you are a line officer for the state, make sure your National Home chairman has some kind of budget to work with. They cover my mileage, which always helps. So, and I'm very, very grateful. I'm just beyond grateful that, I get such good support from my state officers and my state command to do what needs to be done for the National Home. And also Phil was talking about the chaplains coming. I know for the last several years, our state chaplain has been to the National Home every year but one. She has visited. I kind of hate to let the cat out of the bag, but she is pretty sure she'll be the incoming national chaplain. So I'm sure she would be more than happy to help the chaplains get to the National Home. I can put that bug in her ear, and I'm sure she will be more than happy to work with that, Sue.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, that's
Yep.
awesome. Yeah, that's great. What's her name? I can't remember.
You muted yourself, Marilyn.
Oh, she's
Her name's Deborah Halter.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Chaplain Deborah Halter. Yes.
I don't know if Phil's jumping on. No, I think this is a great avenue. And again, we've talked about it and we're going to need help, everybody's help with it, but I think it's a great avenue to pursue. Any other questions? Do you have to put your own hand down?
Yeah, I'm doing that now. Heck.
Okay.
There
We
we
can
go.
just keep calling on you. That's fine.
Any other
I think I'm done now.
questions? Any other questions? Well, that's what we had for you tonight, folks. Did you have something, Ron? Ron?
He's muted.
I'd like to ask Brian if my granddaughter has improved in soccer practice in the last hour.
I can't say she did any work, but your son did an excellent job of getting her primed and prepped for her photo. She is absolutely adorable. So,
I already knew that.
I don't think she's going pro this year
Anytime soon.
but we're going to work. Not maybe she's got to put the work in, Todd. Got to put the work in.
Ron, did you have a question? Oh, I can't hear you, Ron. I think he has a question.
Mhm.
Oh, try it again, Ron. Oh. Can't hear you. Sorry.
I just got a statement to make before I check out for the night. Sue and Brian, thank you so much for doing this. I think it's an awesome format, and I just hope the word gets out that more and more people will join in on this, so our word gets out and you can all help us do what we so desperately need to be done to help our veterans and their families. So Sue, thank you. Brian, thank you. Everybody that attended tonight, thank you. And keep it up and spread the word. Thank you.
Thanks. Thanks, Todd. Okay, unless I can hear Ron, I guess if there's no other questions, we will call it a night. And again, to reiterate what Todd said, thank you so much for everything you folks do and for showing up here to listen to us. And we're always here to help. We love what we do. And we're super excited about our new executive director. And I told him yesterday, I think he was made for this place. So super excited about it. Have a great night, everybody.
Thank
Thank
you.
you,
Thank you
everybody.
for doing this.
Good
Thanks,
night.
Donna.
Good night. Thank you.
Good night.
You all. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Good night.
Okay. Talk to you later.
Bye-bye.